Hi. How's it going?
It's not gonna ever be back, that's for sure. It'll never be like that again.
Yeah, time's moving forward for better for worse. Yeah.
On so many levels.
Were you around here when the band was living here? Were you a bit young for that?
I was about 10 years after that.
Okay.
I got here in 77.
All right.
They were here till 68. But, you know, I saw them at Winterland, I saw them at Oakland, you know. I saw them at the Cow Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you know, as soon as I got here, I was interacting with them, you know.
Nice,
But
yeah.
I was on the East Coast, we were all about the dead, you know, going back to the late 60s, early 70s, you
Yeah.
know. I was too young for the Fillmore, but I saw them at, like, Roosevelt Raceway and Trenton Fairgrounds, all the, when they were doing fucking, had the wall of sound and the wall of speakers, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta charge my battery.
But there's like a famous picture where they're all sitting on the staircase. The band and Rock Scully, their manager, all these other people. You know,
Yeah, Pigpen and
Pigpen
yep.
is still alive. I mean, it was great. It's a great picture. They're all smiling.
Yeah, there's a good number of photos of the band from this. There's a guy on Instagram.
Yeah.
What's his name? I think he was actually he was with the band. He was like one of their professional photographers.
Okay.
I think he lives in Berkeley, but he's posts a bunch of stuff. Not only dead stuff, but you know, all types of rock and roll
Yeah.
related stuff. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a pretty famous photographer.
Okay.
And if you just search like Grateful Dead, I don't know if you do Instagram or
Yeah.
it's because he every once in a while he'll post like different like unreleased photos from the stoop there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching that 60 Minutes interview where they walk through the apartment, they walk into Garcia's bedroom, and it was just, it was amazing how neat and clean it was.
Really? Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. All things
I mean,
considered.
maybe they cleaned up a little
Yeah.
because they knew CBS was coming, but still, you know, he had his books, you know, rightly played.
I believe Garcia's been gone for almost 30 years. And,
Almost 30 years.
and the band was only around for 30 years.
Right.
So, 1965 to 95.
And now it's almost exactly 30 years for Phil to go.
Uh-huh.
You know? There's a weird cycle, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
65 is when he started, 95 is when Jerry's gone, and now it's almost 2025
Yeah.
and Phil is gone.
Yeah. And, Phil, well, he had been dealing with health issues for a while.
I mean, he's died like how many bullets up till now?
Yeah. Yeah, those guys, they say he was a heavy drinker. You wouldn't think of it, but he seemed like pretty mild-mannered
Even
person,
killed.
but you never, maybe it's
You
one
know,
of the...
I mean, it's amazing how much you can still learn because, you know, as a fan, as a musician, you think about him one way and not necessarily on a really deep personal level, you know. Now, reading the stuff about him and like in 75, they went on hiatus for a year.
Do you mind if this is on a YouTube live stream? It's not going to get, it's not a viral but it may get some views on YouTube. Is that okay if I film you? Okay, I mean, if you don't want me to,
Yeah.
It's and I'll give you the link if you want to watch the video later. It's homemade. It's gonna be kind of shaky. I don't have the best equipment, but yeah. All right.
Well, just saying, like Phil in 75 felt a little lost, you know, because the band was gone and he wasn't sure if it was going to come back.
Oh, did they break up for a while?
They took, after 74, when they had the giant speakers, the wall of sound, you know, and then Jerry started working on the Grateful Dead movie from a live series of shows at Winterland. you know, and that was kind of like his way of getting people ready for No More Grateful Dead, because they would decided they weren't going to play anymore, and then nobody really knew for sure if that was the end or just a little hiatus.
Wow.
You know, but you bring it up, Phil's drinking, just reading about this stuff over the last few days, and it was around 75 when Phil really began to drink hard, you know, because he was kind of like, wow, there's no more band. I don't have any side projects, and I don't have any future right now beyond what I've been doing, and this is my whole identity. And now suddenly, where is it, you know? And almost like John Lennon had a weird, you know, crazy period when Yoko left him for a while, and he went to LA, and he was partying with Harry Nilsson, and he's drinking heavily, and getting into all kinds of crazy
heroin
stuff.
and,
You know, and Phil kind of went through a similar period, you know, where he wasn't sure what the future held in store for him, you know. And then so drinking led to other health issues, and then he had these problems with hepatitis, prostate cancer, and other things, right? You know, liver issues, right? I mean,
all that stuff's
Cody
related.
All these years, you know.
Yeah, and those guys, you know, the life on the road is not as easy as, you know, it looks glamorous from the outside, but it's, you know, I don't think it's as easy as it looks.
You know, and he also said, you know, it's like through 74, it was live, it was active. They felt like they were like on this trajectory. You know? And then coming back in 76, it was already different, he said. And like he was into it, and he felt they were still making good music, but his sense of personal involvement, his spirit of it, was different. Like he began, like he wrote songs, he wrote Box of Rain.
Great song.
Chain, you know, and he talked about this, and he said after that, you know, he became less involved on that level.
Okay.
You know,
interesting.
He wasn't singing songs, and he wasn't writing songs. He was still playing, but it was almost like he felt like a sideman in some ways.
Yeah. Well, Box of Rain, that was on
American Beauty.
American Beauty, yeah. So that was at 70, 71, or
71.
Yeah.
70, I think
and then
70.
And then he wrote a couple songs for on U.S. Blues. Is U.S. Blues an album?
No, Mars Hotel.
Mars Hotel, Mars Hotel.
Which is where Unbroken Chain.
Yeah, Unbroken
from.
Chain. Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
But his songs are great. Yeah, Pride of Cucamonga. They're really unique. They're different from the Garcia Hunter.
Absolutely.
In the Bob Weir.
Like, you know, again, I'm making an interesting Beatles allusion, but it was like, you know, when Phil sang, it was kind of like when Ringo got to sing, you know, which was rare.
Yeah.
You know, but he every now and again he had a song, you know. And they kind of stand out because it wasn't the case, you know, that Ringo would normally sing. And likewise with the Dead, you know. Phil singing was always a big deal, right?
Sure.
You know, Deadheads would have the sign, "Let Phil sing." You
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I probably carried one of those.
In some way, you know.
Yeah. And didn't his voice? He had some issues with his voice, throat at a certain point, so he couldn't sing that much. But when he did sing, it was real nice. The first show I saw was in '88. 88 or 89, Laguna Seca. Did you go to any shows out there? Out of Monterey, racetrack there?
I mean, it's all here right here in the immediate. In Oakland, Greek Theater in Berkeley,
Kaiser.
Wonderland,
You must have seen Kaiser Auditorium.
several times.
I was at Kaiser.
Warfield, you know. Like those. They did that series of shows in what was it, '82. Where they played here at the Warfield and also at Radio City Music Hall. And they went back to doing what they had been doing in the early 70s, where they would start with an acoustic set and then have an electric set after that.
Yeah.
You know?
I just want to make sure I don't get hit by a car. I'm kind of in traffic. I'm just like, no, that must have been great. Did you see them when they did the acoustic openers?
Yeah.
I love that type of stuff. Okay.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
You know, because they started with the whole acoustic set. Now, in those days, what they would do, in the early 70s, Jerry was playing with the New Riders of the Purple Sage as well.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
playing pedal steel. So Dead would open with an acoustic set. The New Riders would play a set with Jerry on pedal steel, and then the Dead would play an electric set after that. So you
Yeah.
got 3 sets of music,
Wow.
all with Jerry,
Yeah.
But I got to see without the New Riders at Warfield.
Like the full
full
Dead- yeah, full
Dead
acoustic,
experience.
okay.
So playing acoustic, playing
Yeah.
all the things you would expect to hear acoustic, like Black Peter and High Time, and things like that,
Yeah. Oh yeah. That all the Uncle John's band. And,
Yeah. But Phil would play his electric bass through all
okay.
that, because he wanted to be heard, and everybody else wanted him to be heard,
And he never played the upright bass. I don't recall.
As far as I
Phil-
know,
yeah.
I've never seen a picture even of him playing an upright bass.
But he did play the acoustic fretted bass on some recording.
Yeah,
I think he did.
And then
Did some
he
of that.
had his own thing, right? I don't know if he designed it or somebody made it for him, but he played a 6-string bass. Right? He didn't play a standard 4-string bass.
And he pretty much played that until the end. The 6-string, 6 or 7-string. It was like, looked like it was a pretty heavy instrument. Basses are pretty heavy to begin with, and with 2 extra strings and all that. But,
Well, it gave him obviously gave him a deeper melodic range.
yeah, oh for sure.
He could hit higher and lower notes, And his style was very, like, he played bass like a guitar. He played like a lead guitar, His bass lines, he wasn't just carrying the rhythm, carrying the beat. Boom, 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 boom. It would be like...
Oh yeah, he's
boom,
doing
boom,
like
boom.
melodies and weaving stuff in and out.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, he may have been the most jazzy of the guys in the band. I mean, Jerry obviously studied jazz, but you can't compare. Jerry wasn't a virtuoso jazz guitarist, say like a Wes Montgomery, but obviously it was a major influence on his.
I think Phil was much more influenced by jazz. Jerry came from a bluegrass and traditional, background. Actually played, I think, with Ralph Stanley. He was like one of the godfathers of bluegrass music, But Phil studied experimental music at Mills College. He was into Baresi and
he was composing
all these,
like avant-garde.
He was like a Frank Zappa kind of guy.
Oh, for sure.
In the Grateful Dead,
And Jerry was probably thinking ahead. He's like, because I don't think he had played bass until he joined the band. They were like, okay, here's a bass and here's a band and you play.
Just again, I'm reading all this stuff today. So like he went to a performance where Jerry was playing and he got really excited about it. And it was then that Jerry said, why don't you play bass with us? And Phil said, I've never played bass before.
Yeah.
And Jerry said, well, you played violin, right? And Phil said, yeah. And he goes, well, and Jerry said, well, there you go. Just like, as if to say, well, you've played a bowed string instrument, so you could probably play bass with no problem.
Yeah.
And Phil picked it up, and Jerry showed him a few things. He said, tune your bass 4 octaves lower than my 4 lower strings. So, whatever that means, if you're a music nerd, you'll figure that out. But that apparently meant a lot to him, and that's where he started playing at, and that's kind of like he went from there, I mean, there was not much structure, and like with a song like Dark Star, you could more or
in
less,
the early days.
You had all the room in the world to move around in,
The early stuff, it was more like, well, I don't know if they have recordings from the acid tests, because that was like, from the Kesey tests, like the Warlock
66,
days.
67,
Where it was
the
like,
really early days.
where it was just like free form. And supposedly, they said some of those shows, they were so out of their minds they couldn't even play. They would just like pick up their instrument. It was like, who knows what was going through their minds.
The sound, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and the sound was weird, and Kesey was doing his stuff. And, so,
but no one cared. It wasn't. There was like,
it
it wasn't.
It wasn't
the Dead.
about audio files, and purity of sound.
Yeah, and people weren't there to see the the band, they were there just for the, they were more just a sideshow of the whole carnival that was going on.
They saw that as their role, and that's what Kesey saw them as. It's another thing to enhance the experience, like the light shows.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They were part of the background and part of the whole oral experience. He later said, Jerry said, that if you didn't catch us in '68, you missed us.
Really? Okay. Oh, the real.
Because that was the height of the experimentation, Dark Star, St. Stephen, the 11, all the stuff that was the true psychedelic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where it was about
20-minute tunes.
Where we go with this, and they never knew, when they got on stage, where they were going to go with it, right? You could hear the same song 3 nights in a row, and they're not the same, you know. And they break into interpolations of other melodies. You hear them. There's one. Dark Star, where they call it the 49th Street Bridge Dark Star, because there's a little moment where you hear "Feeling Groovy."
Really? Is that you know what show that's from? Or?
That's like '68.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's at Oxo Moxa is from. Well, that's a bunch of live recordings.
It's
that from
studio album,
okay.
But like Anthem of the
They
Sun,
dubbed in,
they also used live recordings that they had, and they intermixed it with studio stuff they were doing.
Yeah.
So like on Anthem of the Sun, you hear stuff that's live juxtaposed with stuff they're doing in the studio at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthem was supposed to be like an acid trip. It was the idea was just the whole song of you had to die, like you're losing your mortal self, as you become one with the universe.
Yeah, it's real profound. Yeah, the rebirth of a culture.
It's they got their name from I think the book of I Ching or something like that.
Or the Tibetan Book of the Dead.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Tapping into that whole cryptic thing about where are we or where are we going, and the meaning of life. And, when everybody was on LSD, that's what everybody was thinking about.
It was a pretty small window of time. It was what I was born in '68, so I'm much too young to. And my parents were pretty straight edge, but wasn't it like
60?
LSD was legalized? It really came on the scene once it was first in the army and the military, right? Yeah, they were doing testing
with Kesey. He was a student in Palo Alto at Stanford, and he discovered that they were doing these tests at this hospital funded by the military to see if LSD could be used as a weapon.
Mind control.
Yeah. And they were asking for volunteers, and somehow he found out about it, and he went and he volunteered and began taking the stuff. And he thought it was incredible, you know, and began to turn on other people to it, and
In the LSD that they had back then, was it like the real, like the pure? Again, I was, I'm not aficionado, and I did it back, it's been decades since I've done the psychedelics, but I know that it was basically the pure chemical. Right. It was because I know at a certain point there was they're mixing other things into it.
But if you've got clinical pharmacists making this stuff.
Excuse me, John.
Yes.
Have you guys heard of any kind of memorial happening?
Well, I was talking about this with somebody earlier. I don't know. There may be something. She said she was at Hippie Hill earlier, and there were some people out there, but whether that was an official event or not, I don't know.
If it's a dead event, it won't be official.
I mean, well, when Garcia died, there was a huge event, in the park, and there were people on that corner for 2 weeks after he died.
Oh, Jerry.
That first night, but of course, that was '95, so it was closer to the time the band was still around playing, and it was also.
Yeah, I saw him that.
And Jerry was a bigger name.
And also
broader.
Well, but also he died unexpectedly at a very young age. He was still dying at 84. 30 years after the fact. So.
Yeah.
It sure looks a lot different.
Yeah, well, like everything in this neighborhood, you know. Yeah.
No, they haven't changed the architecture is the same. They probably painted it maybe once or twice, but
It's
otherwise,
cleaner.
yeah.
Yeah, it's better insulated, you know, but
Yeah.
basically it's the same building.
The gate, I believe the gate is the same.
That's probably been added. And nobody had gates back in '68.
Yeah, that's
This was all.
Otherwise, people would be coming up to their front door.
Yeah.
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 Oh, so many memories. It was,
Well, I just always think about that picture where they're all sitting on the stoop, you know.
there you go.
And Weir is
Yeah.
actually holding a rifle, standing on the platform up there. It was like a joke, sort of, you know. But later on, they edited it and they doctored it, so they made it look like he was carrying a gardening implement, like a spade, you know,
Oh, did
because
they?
they,
Okay, I didn't know
because
they
they didn't
gardened. I
want
didn't
to
know they
see
gardened.
that picture of him holding a rifle.
I didn't
You
know
know? Yeah. Probably didn't even shoot, you know, but it was there in the house. It
Yeah.
was like a mock-up, you know, like part of the thing, you know, like a lot of the hippies were dressed like Edwardians, you know, with waistcoats
I
and,
remember that.
you know, like the band The Charlatans were famous for wearing all the English
Paul Rader.
garb, you know. Paul
Yeah,
Revere
Paul
Raiders,
Revere, yeah. Yep.
Well,
And you know, right for a little moment, even Jerry was kind of a mod-looking guy, you know. And they
Oh,
got-
yeah, in the 60s, for sure,
There
yeah.
was a store called Mandika where they got all decked out in like hippie garb, and they took a photo that day, and they look amazing, you know.
yeah. But
But he, you know, he abandoned that pretty quickly after that.
when you
know.
think, though, that they really pioneered the whole rock concert happening,
Like the
which now
festival
is
thing and the
so
yeah.
ingrained in our culture.
I mean, so many things, right?
So many things.
The light shows, 3 to 4 hour concerts, you know,
And you
playing extended songs, like at a time when 3-4 minutes songs were the norm. The Dark Star was one whole side of a record. The first time I saw it, I was like, and then the second side was to Love Light into St. Stephen into, you know, the 11. It was like, there's 3 songs on 3 sides, you know? I mean, you know?
Whereas before it was designed for commercials, right?
Right.
You had a plan.
AM radio,
Yeah.
you know? And you would have everything in rotation, you know? You'd hear the same songs, you know, playing 20 songs every few hours, you know? So, you know, these guys also led to the advent of FM radio, underground radio. The idea, you know, Jefferson Airplane, Quicksilver Messenger Service, the Grateful Dead, you could listen to these offbeat radio stations.
Moby
and hear-
Grape. I
Moby
remember
Grape.
Moby
And hear
Grape.
these
Yeah,
wild
yeah, oh,
bands
yeah.
playing jam music, you know, that lasted 20, 30 minutes, you know?
I know.
And it was like such a
But
revelation.
there are these people who dismiss the Dead as not great musicians.
Yeah.
But they miss the point. It's not about the licks. It's about the entire vibe.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
miss the. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're focused on one little thing.
And also,
And
I
they
think-
are good musicians.
Yeah.
besides
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
also,
for
I
sure.
think, you know, a
yeah.
lot of younger people saw them later on in the 80s and the 90s
Yeah.
when Jerry was old and fat and he was on drugs. And he wasn't the player he was in 68 and
No, the
69.
heroin is
you know?
really a problem.
Yeah. And you
The
would hear it.
heroin was, and the cocaine was.
Yeah.
And they, you know, Kreutzmann also says that the cocaine really screwed him up.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the early
Yeah,
days,
that will drive you to
In
alcoholism too.
68,
The
69,
cocaine.
they were probably the best band in the whole country. You know?
I was here then.
You
I
know?
remember.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
mean,
go to what was? You remember the first show you went to?
It was a, it was a free one in the park.
All right.
And there was one way down there at the polo fields where I distinctly remember the Hells Angels as the security.
Yeah.
That was a little bit.
A little
you know,
prescient about things to come, sadly. You know, like what happened at Ultima.
Ultima,
But that was
yeah.
a different gang.
Yeah, no,
Huh.
I know.
Okay, that was a different
Hells
Hells
Angels,
Angels game.
same gang.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean a chapter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
think that's the story. I've not
Yeah,
done it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it was 3 years later. Things changed dramatically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What was Ultima at 70?
The 69.
69. Okay.
69.
Woodstock was 69. Summer of 69.
Same year, but
Yeah.
67.
Yep.
No.
Summer. But you were here in the summer. You were in the
Summer
Haight.
of Love
I
was 67.
grew up. I was born here.
Okay. Nice.
Monterey
Nice.
Pop was 67.
Yeah.
And that's what shows the difference between Monterey Pop and Altamont. You know, how much things change.
Yeah.
You know?
Altamont, that was just bad planning overall. An outdoor concert in the middle of winter, and it gets cold out there. And it was a nighttime concert. It was just bad planning to begin with.
Yeah,
Because it's
well,
cold. I work out in Danville, which is, it's about 20 miles away from Altamont Pass, but it gets cold there at night, 30 degrees and no security.
And you go to some. Have you been to the Dead and Company concerts or anything?
So, I mean, I over the last, since 95, I probably saw The Dead, and I saw Dead and Company. I think I saw Further several times. I went to a Further New Year's Eve show at the Warfield, I think I once saw Rat Dog, Bob Weir's band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
once.
you know?
They're pretty good. They're good. Yeah.
So,
They're still playing.
So, I mean,
but I think my point on Monzo is this. I remember seeing young people still going.
yeah.
I mean, I think it might continue.
Oh yeah, it's still continuing. It's on. Is that okay? It's on YouTube live stream. It's actually it will record, but there's like no viewers. So you see, there's like 0 viewers. It will get archived on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want
very little presence there. Anyway.
Okay, if you don't want the camera on you. No, but it's good because it's history. Yeah.
That's the new etiquette.
No, I know. It is technically, I guess from a legal standpoint, it is public, but hopefully you figured out with something if I'm...
But it's the etiquette.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. It's...
No, it's...
Consider it an informal interview.
They brought a lot to us.
Yeah. I mean, they certainly did in my life,
too.
And, the reason, like I was telling him before, the reason I'm here is because of these guys.
Yeah.
We grew up in New York City, but
I can kind of tell.
coming of age in the late 60s, early 70s, all our eyes were on San Francisco, on the Fillmore, the Dead, the Airplane. I mean, we all wanted to be out here, We had this idea. It was like magic land out here, If we could just get out here, it was going to be...
Yeah, just make it, and then everything will work out.
See shows at the Fillmore, hang out in the park, it was like acid and girls, and, it just seemed like the world was waiting in San Francisco, for the young people to come and take a part of it, But it wasn't just hedonism. There was also a spiritual side to it. The idea of, bringing change to the world.
Oh, for sure.
Aquarius, right? This is all part of
Even
change,
to this day, it's like that. Yeah.
The natural foods, which is sort of a derivative of the whole thing.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Much maligned then, and it was lousy food at the beginning. But the Hare Krishnas would have their feasts down at the beach. They're not around anymore, but they used to be.
Yeah. But all that, I mean,
Yeah.
Environmentalism,
Yeah.
All the stuff that came of age at that same period of time, like civil rights, and people having black people playing in your band, and like that being okay and not being like at all weirded out about it, It's like, we had all happened right then, and now everybody takes all that stuff for granted,
My friend is this. We did win on that score, but there are many who want to take it away. So vote.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
There are many that want to go back.
That fight has never...
They want to go way back. Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
Mind if I grab a picture?
And they may.
Go for it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, go for it. No, it's probably. Yeah. It's a. Yeah.
It's a public domain right here now.
Yeah. It's
As soon as you don't trespass on their property.
kind of scary. You think about all the, the awakening and everything that, and the potential, and just how twisted, some people are when they're focused so much on, getting ahead, or just the focusing on only themselves.
Well,
and then,
in 1970, you could have believed we were all moving forward, away from war, away from racism, away from sexism. By 1980, things had changed so dramatically, you know?
Yeah.
And we've seen now how far away we've come in a way from 1970. That the things we presumed were just, I mean, I was watching Garcia talking today about militarism. And you know, and that, but I think we're moving away from that, he said. You know? And look where we are now. We're on the verge of re-electing Trump for president again.
We're on the verge of,
you know?
of the next World War. It's just insane.
You know,
yeah.
I mean,
it's
for me, you know, it's like 1980 was like two important things happened.
Go for it. It's just a live stream. No, you can walk in front of it, no problem.
Reagan was elected, and Lenin was assassinated.
And that wasn't 80.
That was like the death knell of the 60s right there, you know?
Yeah.
And then the 80s began, and we grew further and further away from the 60s, 70s. That moment in time where everybody thought peace and love and happiness. We're here. We're on the verge of this, you know? No more racism, you know, like equal rights, no more war. You know, John Lennon singing Imagine, you know, believing like this. We were on the cusp of this, you know? Where are we now relative to all that, you know? So.
Guys, I'm still trying to make sense of what's going on now, you know, because I think there's a lot of potential, and there's definitely.
You see how people still want to be a part of it, right? How this draws people here.
Yeah, and
because that spirit is still alive.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's being suppressed all the time now.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, then there's so much scattered, attention. You know, like you can have an awakening. You can have a beautiful, profound experience at Dead and Company, even today. But then you turn on the news, or you put on your feed, and you're just bombarded with all sorts of. I think that there's so many things trying to grasp our attention, with our phones and I don't know.
I mean, but there's always been that challenge, right? Like the holy
sure.
man.
Technology's always been
Jack
involved.
Kerouac, they talk about, you go up to the mountain and you find truth and you find a connection with the greater being. The challenge is coming down from the mountain and bringing it back to the city. And living that when you're back in the real world, It's like when you're tripping. And you get this sense like you're seeing the truth all around you. And it's crystal clear. And then you start coming down and you start losing that sense of wait, I had it, it's going away. And it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So you think it could be it's like the garden, right? We're back they sing in Woodstock, back in the garden.
Oh, which song is that?
Woodstock.
Oh, no, what song are you singing?
Joni Mitchell's song Woodstock, later covered
Oh, the
by
Woodstock.
Crosby,
the song
Stills,
Woodstock. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, I love that one. Yeah, she wasn't even there. Yeah, she wrote it just.
Yeah. She was there.
She actually didn't attend the concert. She wrote it for Crosby, Stills, and Nash. She was, I think, doing shows. She was on the West Coast, and she.
No, because they were late. The next day, they were on the Dick Cavett show.
Okay.
Jefferson Airplane, David Crosby, Stephen Stills, Joni Mitchell.
So did she perform at Woodstock?
I don't know if she performed.
Oh,
but
she was there. Okay. Yeah. Because I know there was some. I don't know all the details. You probably know more than me. But it was somehow she wrote it and sang it to him over the phone or something. And that was there. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Was that Ann Young? Did Young perform it? It was just Crosby, Stills, and Nash at Woodstock.
Yeah.
And that was their second concert. Where they say that this is our second concert. We're scared out of our minds. And then, were you? You're probably too young to. Were you at Woodstock or?
I could have been.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I would have never gotten. I would have had to do it on the sly.
Sneak out of the house.
I could have stuck away from home for 2 or 3 days and my mother not knowing it.
Yeah.
But I had older friends. Who were going. But
So the Fillmore East, what did you make it to any of those shows, or was that closed by the time? It
was down on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, but I was still too young to really know. It was I think that ended in '71.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was another theater called the Academy of Music, which was on 14th Street. That was a place that was well known. That later became a club called the Palladium. But Hot Tuna play there all the time, and a lot of those kind of bands play there, and that was almost like the next wave of the Fillmore. Kind of like Winterland became the next wave of the Fillmore West, because the Dead started playing at Winterland all the time after the Fillmore closed.
Where was Winterland? You said
was in the Western Addition.
Okay.
Not far, like around not far from Fillmore Street, like a few blocks up from there, and a few blocks up from Geary.
Was it what was the size? What was the capacity?
It had been a roller skating rink. It was called Winterland because that's where they had the ice follies.
Okay.
You know? But then, like, you know, they couldn't do that year round, I guess, and they decided they'd start having music. So they put wood on the floors. It was like the Warfield, the way the Warfield is designed. They had a balcony with seating on the top, and it was an open floor on the bottom. So everybody sat and then danced, you know, and if you wanted to sit, you could sit upstairs. But it was smaller than the Warfield, so it was very intimate, you know. And a number of times I was able to walk pretty close to the stage and literally be like they were right there in front of me, you know.
Okay. So like a couple thousand capacity.
Like about, I think 10,000 was the max. If you know, if they got that, you know.
Oh wow. Yeah, that seems pretty. That's pretty big for an in. Maybe it was smaller because the.
It could have been
the Warfield. I've never been to the Warfield. Even they're still open to this day. They still have shows. Yeah.
Warfield, I think, is more like 20,000.
Okay,
you know?
maybe it's bigger than I would think.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I always liked the outdoor shows better. I saw, Oakland Coliseum was okay, but I always preferred seeing them outdoors.
Yeah, that's funny. I always liked the indoor shows because I always liked the sound better, and I always liked the fact that the weather was controlled, so you could focus on the music and not worry about if you were too cold or too hot. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't see too many indoor shows, and then I saw them in L.A. and I ended up buying a counterfeit ticket, so I had some bad experiences. I had a legit ticket, but then it was general admission, and I wanted a reserve ticket, and I traded my legit ticket for these, and these were guys that they were just selling tickets, but they weren't Deadheads, so I should have thought about it more thoroughly. And then, they were basically counterfeit. And then we bought some bad mushrooms the same night. And then a buddy of mine I was going to school in Santa Barbara, so like a frat buddy of mine gave me like $80 to buy mushrooms for him. So I bought him like these counterfeit mushrooms, and then it was just a mess. So, and that was at the LA Forum, so I think that soured my taste for the indoor shows. Because pretty much most of the shows, I'd say 80% of the shows that I saw were outdoor. Well, by the time I started seeing them, after '88 and beyond, they were so big that, they didn't. If it was summertime, it was always outdoor, and I saw the Chinese New Year's and New Year's Eve, I think, was 1990, Oakland Coliseum. But even those, I think we may have gotten. That may have been another time we bought bad mushrooms. There was I think towards the end there was a lot of weird stuff going on, like kind of.
Yeah, I mean they were another attraction for certain kind of people.
For scammers and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it had come a long way, obviously, from the 60s and 70s when everybody who was going to shows was part of the scene,
Yeah.
Was a hippie or, somebody who had some spiritual connection to that, I mean, by the late 80s, early 90s, they were like a huge institution, and almost like a corporation,
Yeah.
People acted accordingly. You had scalpers, you had scammers, you had all kinds of people looking to take advantage of the name,
Yeah, for sure.
And take advantage of people who were gullible, who were true deadheads, and I need a miracle, and here's a dude selling you a bullshit ticket, and bullshit acid, even like that last show where they were breaking down the fence and trying to get in, it almost seemed like.
Oh, is that Chicago?
At Chicago.
Okay. My brother was at that show.
Soldier
and
Field.
That was his first and his only Dead show. And he's a lawyer. He's like, he's pretty open-minded, but he definitely wasn't a Deadhead. And, I was, more the rebellious child, but he was clerking in Chicago that summer, and then like his buddies had an extra ticket, so he went, and then that was their last show.
Yeah.
I had a chance to see a show up in northern Vermont. They were Brattleboro or somewhere, not Brattleboro, way up on like the Canadian border. It was like, it was that summer, like maybe a couple of weeks before the Chicago show, and I was living in Boston, and I just decided, I'll just see him next time, and then there wasn't a next time, or not a next time for Jerry.
Yeah. Well, you know, it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying the experience as much, I have to say, you know. Remember I was back in New York, I saw them at Madison Square Garden. It's a good show, but everything had become so predictable. You know, Space Jam, and the drums, solo. You know, and Jerry's playing was not what it had been, I have to say. You know, songs that had been dynamic in the past, like Going Down the Road, you know, everything was slowed down.
Oh, they were so slow at the
It
end.
was so slow.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna fall asleep. You know, and you know, I could understand why a lot of the young people were like, this band sucks. Why is everybody going crazy about them? You know.
Yeah, the last show I saw was in Arizona, at the out at the outdoor. It was some amphitheater out in the west side of Phoenix, but they were playing. It was like very slow, and I like slow music, but it felt even a little too slow.
Yeah. And you know.
But Dead and Company's like that. They, you know, Bob is, you know, he's 77 now, so I understand it. And as I get older, I appreciate the slower vibe as well. But sometimes Bob will just start off a song real slow, and then it's just the whole band just kind of gels into that.
Yeah, but then I would hear like Phil with his band, you know, and doing things like Milestones and like.
Oh really? Oh, some jazz stuff. Yeah.
Like, I mean, the beat was cracking, you know.
Oh,
and I thought, like, here's Phil liberated finally, because he's been saddled with sluggish Jerry for the last 10, 15 years, and now he can really fly, you know.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the drummers too, like Bill and Mickey. I mean, those guys are great drummers, but I think once they got Jay Lane on the tour, they, you know, kind of give him a little kick in the rear end. he's more of a funk and hip hop drummer. Well, I mean, you know, he's you know, Jay Lane, obviously, Bob Weir's drummer. But when I think Bill he dropped out of the tour. Not to say I was happy about that. This was the last Dead and Company last summer, not this past summer, but the summer of '23. And then Jay Lane joined the tour, and I kind of felt he you know, his time feels a bit tighter. Yeah, plus he's 20 years younger, 25 years
it's
younger.
like when every one of these young guitarists started playing with them, right? You know, when they had the guy from Dark Star Orchestra playing with them for
he
a
plays
while.
with Phil. I think he was like Phil's main guitarist. You know, those guys, it's crazy. Those guys sell out like the Warfield, like Dark Star Orchestra, and I remember when they were just like kind of a measly cover band. You know? They were just like, you know, playing bars.
But when you can't see the real thing, you know, seeing them is almost like the next best thing, you know, because they really pride themselves on trying to replicate the shows as accurately as possible.
Yeah.
Right? You know? So,
and
you know, I mean, the other guys like Warren Haynes and Derek Trucks, you know, they bring their own style. Their own, John Mayer, they bring their own, you know, presence and musical ability. They're not necessarily trying to be pure Garcia-like, you know.
And I almost wish Mayer would play more of his own stuff, and because, you know, he's such a great musician, and, you know, he's definitely more kind of rock and modern, but sometimes I think he, you know, just to fit the song, you know, he'll, you know, he's obviously listened to hours and hours of Dead, so he's, you know, he can figure out, you know, he played a lot of the Jerry stuff, but you know, it comes out subconsciously, where he's not really, you know, wanting to sound like Jerry, but just from the song kind of leads the way. But and then what amazes me is like when I hadn't actually seen Dead and Company like inside the concert. I actually went to their final show, but just outside the venue, like the Shakedown last summer, and I was just amazed on how more open the drug sale, you know, like the mushrooms. Again, I don't do psychedelics anymore. I'm not against them, but it was just how, because it was like back in the day, it was like, you know, you'd have to worry about getting arrested, and it was like, but it was like way more. I think that stuff is even in some ways more prevalent now, even though.
Well, it's gone through cycles.
Yeah.
I was telling you about the Academy of Music before, which was like the place after the Fillmore East in New York City. And I remember going to a show there, and these cats would be walking around like, you know, the in the old movie theaters, they'd have the cigarette girl. She would have the tray of stuff with like cigarettes and candy.
Yeah,
and
I think I
well,
probably remember that as a very little kid. Yeah.
So at the Academy of Music, they had these cats who would walk around with these trays, except they weren't. It wasn't candy. It was like roll joints and hits of acid and hits of Quaaludes.
Yeah, I heard New York City was crazy
in the early
the
70s.
Yeah.
You could get anything, and everything was.
Yeah.
I mean, Reds, Tuinols, Seconals, Quaaludes, Percodans, Percocets,
Yeah.
you know, LSD, mescaline, peyote, psilocybin. I mean, the
was like
sky was the
medicine
limit.
show.
You know? I mean, I had friends, a number of friends who had the DSM manual in their homes, which was the drug, like psychiatric.
Oh, okay.
It was like the
I'm not sure what
the textbook that described all the drugs that had psychoactive benefits.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, that's
so
that's the textbook
DSM.
DSM. Okay. Yeah.
And it was a manual for psychiatrists who would prescribe medications.
Okay.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
And so it told you what the effects are of this one, of that one. So if you encountered something, you could look at it and find it in the DSM and know what you were taking before you took it.
Oh, interesting.
You know?
Yeah.
So
you have that with you. You have that.
I had a number of friends who had that.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, I remember a time when we did exactly that. We found something, we didn't know what it was. We were able to identify it using the DSM, and then we took it.
Yeah.
But like Reds, ups
Reds
and downs, right?
that's speed.
People don't think
amphetamines, right?
Well,
Reds.
you have barbiturates.
We're living on
which
Reds,
were
vitamin
downs,
C, and
right.
Well, vitamin C is a reference to the LSD, right?
No. That was
okay.
literally. I mean, people were taking vitamin C, like they were taking ginger and cayenne, right?
Oh,
all these hippie homeopathic remedies, while they were taking cocaine and doing Quaaludes and doing Reds and Secanols. You know, Reds were Secanols. They were barbiturates.
Oh, okay.
They were
those are downers. Okay, so you take that when you're to sleep.
No, it's like a party drug. So, for
really?
instance, instead of having to drink 15 shots, you could take a Secanol, take 1 shot of Jack Daniels, you were good to go.
Yeah.
You didn't have to drink 5 shots of Jack Daniels and 5 shots of beer, you know?
Yeah, and your liver is probably thanking you for that. You know, not that a little bit, but alcohol is in some way, I think that's like the most destructive of, at least, if you abuse it. But yeah, there's a guy that he's a live streamer. He lives on St. Mark's Street on he goes by Mr. Based.
Okay.
He's like around my he's 50. He's like born in 66 or something. But he's a crazy dude. He's been in jail, and I guess he was like a former pimp. He's like a crazy dude, but he's like, you could tell he was a deadhead because he's got tight eyes. But he does if you search on YouTube, Mr. Based, he's a nut. But he hangs out with this guy Josh Block, who's like this 23-year-old alcoholic, but he's like a viral TikToker. He's got like 3.5 million followers on TikTok, and he basically makes a living on TikTok just from the ads and stuff. But anyways, this guy Mr. Bass, he's a New York City freak, and he lives on St. Mark's Place in the Village, and he live streams. He was doing it every day. It's kind of hit or miss, but if you want to kind of just check out his live stream if you want to laugh.
But the connection is that he was once a deadhead. Is that why?
I think I was thinking because he's into the New York. He's like still like part of the New York City scene, like the crazy New York City scene. Like he's he's there right in the East Village, and you know, if you wanted to kind of see what's going on in 2024 there, and most of the people he hangs out with are like younger people, but because most of the people his age are probably have kids or you know, or don't have. But actually, sometimes on his live stream, he'll be listening to the Mars Hotel, like you'll hear it on his stereo. Hi. Yeah. So have you been wanting, or has there been anything going on? Any concerts today, or?
That's like we were talking about earlier. I haven't. Somebody else told me they were at Hippie Hill, but there were a few people out there, but there was nothing official.
Yeah.
You know, maybe over the next week there'll be some kind of announcement from the Dead themselves, or from Bill Graham Presents, or from somebody else. Maybe the mayor will decide to have something in the park like they did for Jerry, like they did for Bill Graham.
Yeah.
You know, so. But, you know, it probably takes a degree of organization, because if you announce a Phil Lesh Memorial, you'll get 50,000 people out there. You know,
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. Then maybe up in Marin, there's some stuff going on up there.
Well, he had his theater, Terrapin Station,
Yeah.
right? So they're probably going to do something up there.
Actually, they shut that place down.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They shut it down. It was during COVID. I think
Okay.
it just. I think it's. I'm not sure. It's a chain now. So. I never saw a show there. My parents were in town and we went there for dinner. It was kind of a bougie type. Like it was like it wasn't. Like
I mean, it's Mill Valley, right? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I felt like I was like the most dead person there, and I was like hanging out with my parents and like, you know, wearing a wool sweater and jeans or something. But and then I because I'd put out a CD, like a singer-songwriter CD, and I gave it to the people at the front desk. I'm like, give this to Phil. If you see him in the back, you know, I don't know who knows. It's probably ended up in a landfill somewhere. But they had some good shows there. You know, they had that. And then Phil would play in the restaurant with like his Phil
his
family,
two sons.
family band.
Yeah. Apparently that became a standard thing that because he lived close by, so he would just show up and play, you know, and then his sons would play with him. You know, and then they would have other musicians jam with them. You know? So.
I just my friend started playing
It's so good. It's so cute.
And Bob had there was at Tamalpais Research Center. Did you hear that? It was I think it was mostly a recording studio, but they would do like some live video streams. It was. I'm not sure if he still has that space, but this was more like the late, like 28, maybe 2015 through 2020 or so.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he still has that space, but it was really impressive. It was like, you know, state-of-the-art audio video technology, and it may have just been like in his, you know, in his backyard. But it was like really nice studio. One show that's on my to-do list is see Bob Weir with Don Was. Have you seen Don Was?
No.
Play bass with him? He's a great bass player. He plays an upright bass too. And you know, he's actually the president, or he's like the head of is it Blue Note Records, or like it's like one of those jazz labels. Okay. He's like the CEO, or you know, he's like the head, basically, that runs the company. Mm-hmm. He's not the owner, but he's like the head guy. Mm-hmm. I think it may not be Blue Note, because Blue Note be based. They're out of L.A. hey, what do you think of Steve Kimmick? Actually, someone in the chat he wants an opinion. Bear's Choice wants an opinion on. I don't know if you need opinion on Steve Kimmick. Have you seen the Steve Kimmick band?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did years ago, and I know he had some connection to the scene. I can't even remember much about him.
I think he played with the keyboardists. Their current keyboardists. He was
Okay.
in a band with him.
Okay.
And then that's how the keyboardists got the gig with the Dead and Company. And
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
May not be 100%
I
sure.
really don't know.
Okay.
I
but,
don't remember his name. I think I saw him play once,
yeah.
like at a free concert downtown or something. Like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
But he's like one of those like you were mentioning, the guitarists who can get the Jerry thing down really good. I think
Yeah.
he's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jerry, he inspired me to start playing guitar. Seeing him at the Shoreline, I was like, damn, humans can do that. Or it was just the vibe and.
Your horn works. Try your light.
Nice to meet
You have one?
Gotta be at least one. Gotta be at least one.
When were you born? Year?
Don't remember it.
Me neither.
Good year.
Do any of you want a flower to put in there? Popcorn?
What?
Want to throw a flower in?
throw
He's
some
offering.
in?
Yeah.
They have thorns, so
He's got
careful.
the
I like those.
Yeah.
I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that at all.
This is my dad. Oh, how sweet. Oh, I wish my dad was here.
Oh, you gotta put it around the mural, dude.
He smells so good. So good.
What's your pup's name?
Disco. Disco biscuit.
Disco?
Yeah, but he is.
Gorgeous. He's got your hair color too.
I know we're twins. Mine doesn't fall out as much as his, thank God.
Looks like Bear's Choice said the last time he saw Phil was 2017 in Monterey Fairgrounds. I never saw Phil in Friends.
All right, my man, I'm gonna cruise.
Yeah. What's your name?
Nori.
Yeah, Michael. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. I'll see you around. Hopefully there'll be a.
Where will that be found?
This is on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, just search it. Like the title of this video is just type in Phil Lesh tribute walk, Haight Ashbury. Just search that, or my YouTube channel is non-GMO. Just like no spaces, just non-GMO.
Okay.
And then just do a search, and then it should come up.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll just put you anonymous dead, featuring an interview with anonymous deadhead. Oh, it's cool. At nighttime, you get the lights. There's actually people at home there, or they turn on. I don't think I've ever seen the stained glass.
They might just have automatic lights.
What
go
did you say
on.
your name was again?
Nori.
Nori, Mike. Okay. Where did you grow up in Manhattan, or?
In the Bronx.
Okay. Yeah.
She probably lives upstairs.
And what year you moved here? In the mid-70s?
December 22nd, 1976.
Okay. And you pretty much live in the Bronx most of your life until.
Well, I went from the Bronx to upstate New York, where I went to school for
Okay.
2 years. And then in 76.
Were there shows up there? Because they played. It wasn't like Binghamton or any of that.
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
was a small college town, but they would have a lot of bands come through there because that area was near where Woodstock took place.
Yeah. It's beautiful up
Poughkeepsie,
there.
the Catskills. So you know, where Bob Dylan and the band were
Oh, yeah,
recording,
for
you know,
sure.
in the late 60s, early 70s, you know. So that was, and it was about an hour and a half from New York City. So many bands would go up there to play during that period of time. And New Paltz was like a famous hippie college. In fact, Playboy called it the Berkeley of the East.
Okay.
Because for a small college, it had a big reputation. Youngbloods played there, the Airplane played there. I mean, there are a lot of bands. Hot Tuna played there.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So I saw Hot Tuna on campus. I saw Journey on their first tour there.
Okay.
I saw Billy Joel on his first tour there. I saw Patti Smith in 1975 at New Paltz.
Okay, I just saw Patti
Yeah.
Smith a couple weeks ago.
At
Did you see
Harvey
it?
Strictly.
Yeah, that was a good show. Yeah.
Smith and her libido.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. It was packed there. It was there were a lot of people, but it was
It was all right.
Yeah.
It was very slow, I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't very dynamic. I wanted to hear a little bit more horses and early stuff.
Yeah, I'm not so familiar with her music, but I definitely have a lot of respect for her.
Well,
I just know it's kind of gutsy, the Nirvana cover was got an 80-year-old lady on there. It's like,
but
Yeah.
she's got her kid playing lead guitar for her now.
Oh, really?
So
All
like,
right.
yeah, and he was shredding, you know. So I think, yeah.
Did you see the Wood Brothers? They played the final set on the other stage. That was Medeski, Martin and Wood. I don't know if you heard of that band, but yeah, it was like Chris Wood's brother. His real brother is the guitarist in that band. They're more kind of country Americana, but they busted into some kind of funky. They're a New York City band. Have you heard of Medeski, Martin and Wood? Okay, yeah. I saw them at BB King's. This was I don't know what it was called back when you were living there, but it was a huge place. One thing I noticed, New Yorkers they're not so friendly. You know, you can't start a conversation because it's like these guys borrowed my pipe to smoke a bowl at the concert, but then after that, I couldn't even say they were just ignoring me. It was like people are real kind of.
You know, back there it's more like you make friends for life, you know? So
Yeah,
your friends
yeah.
are the people you grew up with, and then that bond lasts for 40, 50 years. Like my brother hangs out with all the people he grew up with, and those are his true friends. you know?
Yeah.
Out here, it's a lot more fluid and flexible because everybody comes from somewhere else, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are a handful of natives, you know, but mostly it's like people from the East Coast, West, other parts of California, you know?
Yeah. I came from Arizona.
You make your friends here, you know, and you create like surrogate families almost, you know, the people you have Thanksgiving with. It's not your uncle and your dad and your you know, this one and that one. It's people you become friendly with, you know. So.
Sure.
And you know, so many people came, you know, during this era, the idea was that you came out here to be transformed because you were living this restrictive lifestyle somewhere else. But you could come here and be like, grow your hair long and do LSD and, you know, have these wild experiences that you could never have back where you came from, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this environment helped foster that and facilitate it, you know. And then it turned out to be not for everyone. I knew many people who came, and after 2 or 3 years, they would go back to where they came from. It was like, nah, it's too weird. It's too, you know, no, everybody's superficial. It's like they'll shake your hand, but they're not really there for you, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so
It takes a while to get
that was
used
a
to
kind of
California.
You like see that sort of dichotomy, East Coast, West Coast sensibilities, you know, and you know how people responded to that, you know. So
Yeah.
God, it's good size though. I mean, I've never gone to a show and not found somebody to smoke me out. It's just like always somebody's there. You know?
Yeah.
It's always pretty cool. You know?
Yeah.
If I didn't have my
Yeah.
Yeah, on that level, totally. You can walk in as a stranger and have an amazing time.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
all kinds of crazy people, you know. And who knows where you're going to wind up that night, you know? So,
go with the flow. Exactly.
yeah.
Go with the flow. That's all.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoy every moment.
We are at 710 Ashbury, though it's pretty dark, so you may not be able to see it too well, but we're at the Grateful Dead house right now, so thanks for watching the live stream. Non-GMO YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family. Oh, it's just I'm just live. He's okay. I'm live streaming on YouTube. Yeah, so it's an iPhone, but it's just this is just the stand, which is it needs to be replaced, and then just the fastener to hook it to the. This you can kind of wrap around things, like you could wrap around like a pole or a fence or something, you know. But it's been overused, so I need to replace it. And then this is just the plug to the battery pack. So yeah, it's streaming on YouTube. But we had we're down to one viewer. We had 2 viewers, but it will get archived there. So if you want to see it, yeah, I've been here for so there's there's the live chat, and then that just tells you how long you've been on YouTube, and then it's my camera has really poor night vision, so it's like I don't know if they're seeing anything right now, but I'm just filming it just for what's that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pretty cool though.
Yeah. If you have a phone, I mean, basically, as long as you have a phone, you can stream with, just right from your phone, your smartphone. If it doesn't have to be an iPhone. It could be whatever kind of smartphone you have. I got a separate app. There's sometimes you may need to get a couple things on your phone just so that make it easier to stream. I mean, but some people, I mean, I'm not really that. I mean, people that have followings, I mean, like their chats will be going. I mean, there'll be people just constantly commenting, and they may have 100. Some people get thousands of people watching it at once. Yeah, oh yeah, if they have really big followings. So
there it is.
But you got to do it a lot to kind of build that up, do it like every day, and then what's that? Yeah. This is cool. There's more people here now than there were earlier.
The ebb and flow.
What's that?
The ebb and flow.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Yep.
However that looks like.
Yeah, just like the tide.
Yeah. Feels good.
Yeah.
You like high tide?
I like all tide. Yeah, I like low tide too, because you can like walk out farther out into the ocean.
Yeah.
And there's some places. Yeah, if you're out,
a little closer to the deep end.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Marin County, there's some places there. Marin. Yeah, obviously Yeah, but if you drive out to Point Reyes, and then there's like that. There's a beach there that's. And then there's like that spit thing. It's like a really long beach, but in low tide you can kind of walk, like it's supposed there's a bunch of rocks there, so you can kind of walk in between the rocks, but then the waves will kind of come, so you have to be careful, and because the waves can sneak up on you, but you can walk pretty far out there. But then when the high tide comes up, it's like you'd be like 10 feet of water. Yeah.
Ohio.
Yes, that's your address.
A bowl.
We're gonna mail them to you, Dad. Don't let me forget to mail them to you.
Have a great rest of your travel, trip and all that.
Oh, you guys travel here from out of town? You guys come here from? You guys come here from out of town, or?
Gotta go. Check it out, Violet, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's nice. Oh, yeah, it's like near Reno, kind of near. Oh, sweet.
Take care. Be good on this little piece of the journey.
Yeah,
we gotta go. Yeah.
Good to meet you.
Oh, God. Incredible to share this with you guys. Yeah. Hell yeah. Appreciate you.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna hit this one.
Be good. Take care, guys.
There's bus coming in there. Look at this bus.
We'll see you down the road, so we're ready, huh?
Love ya.
Bye.
night, guys.
They tell me forgiveness is the key to every door. That goes D minor 7th, C major 7th, F, E minor, G.
Is this Phil?
That's Phil.
Oh, really?
I think it must have been when he just wrote the
He's
song.
teaching the song? Nice. Oh, this is like his demo. Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever heard this. Yeah. Yeah, thanks guys for watching the live stream. The lights are really bad here. I'm going to head down to the main Haight in a few minutes, but spend a little more time here at the Haight Ashbury house.
The short length of the pause between the parts of this rhythm is correct. D minor 7th, C major 7th.
Is Phil playing guitar on this?
I don't know.
I wonder if he is. Maybe he's playing. Yeah, I didn't even know he played guitar.
Is this a video?
No, it's part of the
Or what? I wonder if he's playing guitar.
Yeah.
Might be
Is this on YouTube?
Oh, it's on Rarities.
What's it on?
It's on that Rarities collection.
Oh, Rarities?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you've never listened to that, because there's some cool gems.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the
Just-
Rarities box set. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I
Yeah,
love
I haven't. There's
If
so
you're on
many box
Spotify,
sets. I'm kind of old. I've got a bunch of old tapes.
Yeah.
that so I haven't. But there's some really nice box set collections, and then they remaster them too, so the sound quality is really good.
Hey, Stoner. Make sure those candles are
Drive you insane, listening to the wind howl. Unbroken chain, sorrow and burdens, unbroken chain of the sea. Unbroken chain of the western wind, unbroken chain of you and me.
Sorry, my camera. My it's a cool thing. My stand is totally jacked. So it's not holding the phone up. It's weird. I lost the live stream. Oh, there we are. Okay. This will probably work better if I lean it against.
If you're serious about matching.
stepping around this, walking all over it. People are fucking crazy. The original smokers. Unparalleled.
I really want to find out what recording that was of Scarlet Begonias,
Oh, the
where
one where
fucking Phil was like,
Was that a demo, Scarlet?
No, it It was we were tripping on Wednesday night.
heard a really nice version.
We were like both sitting there, and then like both at the same time. We were like, he starts
You know,
like,
I brought it up first.
woo,
I was so like,
you know, he does that thing where he like slides his finger on the string, and it'll be like, woo,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, great. I love that song.
yeah. I think it was like a '70s Scarlet or something. I don't know because like I have Spotify, and now my new favorite thing to do is just go to the Grateful Dead page and just hit shuffle.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I use Spotify sometimes. I'm more than YouTube.
I go back and forth.
You know archive.org? Yeah, that's like gold mine for dead bootlegs.
It's right over there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so yep, on the.
I'm from the Richmond, so.
Actually, I donate to them.
Yeah.
I'm a monkey down there.
They're great people.
Yeah. I
They're
want to go
folks.
inside there. They got hacked, and they
I heard that.
yeah, so they took the site down for like it was almost a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because they had to beef up their security. But I think everything's back online now.
Just make sure that those candles aren't going to catch that short fire. That's bad. It's real bad.
wait,
Yeah, Cornell. Yeah, it's like Cornell's in Ithaca. Yeah, 5870. Told you guys it was important. I just had a feeling that day.
You know what she told me at the show? She was like, you may never get a chance to have to go up to his name. I was
And the
always
crazy
like,
thing is
about you. That's funny. That's why I'm like, I'm about to do that.
that's Viola. She's very friendly. She's a food hound. Viola, put her ass in. Yeah, J-Rod is great, wasn't it? Yeah, wow. Do you want to try something? It's kind of cathartic. Earlier, I was just like, because I don't drink anymore, and like, no, I would have just like, and then I felt like, I need to like, do something today. Like, you know. Like, we're always like right down there anyway, so we're like, we should probably like, do something today, sit there for a while, bring the talk and draw some shit. No, it's all in the box. Yes, fucking pretty rough, man. Pretty hard. Just not really. Oh, I know. We were just 7 people here when we got here a little while ago. We were all talking about the day on show last night because we were playing Boxer Raid. He started playing Boxer Raid right as I was finishing this. And so we were talking about how everybody was just screaming and crying during that Boxer Raid. And then I broken chains too. Shit fucking ridiculous. Unbroken chain, feel like fucking noise drugs. Fuck, that was just different. That was so perfect. Because the night before I was thinking I did have a picture when the show was over. There's the name. Yeah. It was great. I know. I was like, it was kind of big. No, they're just like going. Yeah. I forgot, like even the song to song.
Album version? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sounds real good.
I saw Bobby do it like this.
Oh, with the
last
full.
year with the symphony.
Oh,
at
nice.
Stanford.
Yeah.
And then we saw Phil, my last Phil show.
Okay.
We were walking in with my friends who I was with at that Bobby show and talking about it, and they did it at my very last Phil show. He did it like this.
Oh wow.
In Marin in July.
Okay, sweet. Is it okay? This is on YouTube Live? Is it?
No problem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I kind of figured that.
Yeah, what's that?
I said I kind of figured you were.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's no viewers now. I think. Oh, actually, we just got one. Someone just logged on.
Well,
I think we had 2 at the max. It will get archived.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
yeah.
Cool.
So what was the last Phil show that you saw? That
it was at McGinnis Park in San Rafael.
Oh wait, this year?
Yeah, in July 21st.
Was that with his band, or because he was playing bass for another band, like
Phil and Friends.
Oh, for Phil and Friends. Okay, sweet. That must have been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, the boxes are good.
Is that how many people were at that one?
I don't know.
Like, was it paid or was it
It was
free
paid.
concert?
It was paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got a chance to see Phil and Friends.
They were great. It's the cool thing about Phil and Friends is that they were like, you know, like one of those revolving artist bands that, like, one show to the next, you would have different musicians.
Uh-huh.
Other than Phil, like, Phil was the only, like, constant.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, sometimes you'd have, like, just all kinds of different people sitting in.
Even like John Schofield play with like a lot of jazz players.
Stu Allen.
Yeah.
Lebo, Reed Mathis,
Uh-huh.
his son Graham, you know, just all kinds of different people.
Awesome.
Nikki Bloom sometimes, Holly Bowling sometimes, like Stanley Jordan, just all kinds of people. Clementi, Delane, you know, just all.
Who was it? Like, would he use the same drummer a lot, or did he
No,
have
the
different
drummer changed. All the members changed. I mean, you know, there's like usual suspects or whatever. But
Yeah.
It definitely changed. Like incarnation to incarnation, show to show. Where is my? How did that happen? Oh, that's
Is
good.
that a speaker? Oh, is that
It
what it's
is.
coming out of?
No.
Oh, okay.
We have another
You have another speaker. Okay. Can you link those things up, like stereo or?
I don't think so because they're different brands.
Okay. Yeah. I need to get a smaller speaker. Mine's like a little smaller than yours, but I'm just like, I'm already holding
This
this
thing's
thing.
really
We have My Best Friend memberships for everyone. See how you can save 10%.
Yeah, they make those, a lot of those live streamers, they have ones that they get really loud.
Yeah.
They're the speakers like the size of your phone, but the thing's like, you know, it's like a concert hall.
Yeah.
Well, you were saying you saw a couple Phil things recently. It was like just
I've
that
seen
last one?
Phil
That
was my first
Like-
time she took me.
Oh, just
a bunch of
this
times.
summer?
Since like since basically like
awesome.
this
Yeah,
time
yeah.
last year,
That's
he did a whole bunch of shows at the Fillmore, and then he did
Okay.
one or two at the Warfield, and then he did that one in Marin.
Were the Fillmore ones this year?
There was bye. It was nice to meet you. There was a couple last year and a couple this year. It
Okay.
was like 4 or 5. I think I made most
Yeah.
of them. All but like the first one I went to.
You're probably too
Valentine's
young to have
Day.
seen the actual Grateful Dead.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
My parents are deadheads. So
Okay,
I grew
yeah,
up,
yeah.
I grew up here.
Sweet,
My
awesome.
parents moved here in 1987,
Oh, okay, cool.
and I grew up seeing Jerry.
Like
So-
Jerry Band and
Not Jerry Band, Grateful Dead, because a lot
Cool.
of Jerry Band shows were 21 plus. And
yeah, I just saw Jerry Band once at Shoreline and like I think it was 80. It was
I think I was
1990.
there. I think I
somewhere
was
90.
there.
Yeah, it was a Saturday night show.
I think I was
think.
there.
And then
You ready to go back down there?
but the Dead I saw like I probably saw them 20 times or so.
I saw them. Like, I don't know. My mom says like 100, somewhere between 150.
Were you one of those kids, like a Grateful Dead kid, that were like, man, those kids were like,
running around like
yeah,
a
like
crazy
with
person
dreadlocks and stuff?
I didn't have dreadlocks.
Okay,
But
but I remember you see those kids and like, you know, these kids like had lived out in the woods up in Humboldt
No,
or
it
something,
wasn't like
you know, like some of
that.
those.
We lived here.
Okay, but you know, but you'd see like full on, like the first show that I went to was Monterey,
Oh yeah.
Laguna Seca.
I was there too.
It was like a full-on camping, like 3 days of camping, and just like I'd been to outside a few shows, but like I'd never made it in, and then
Yeah.
but it was like I was just like it was like just totally yeah, it was like way beyond my expectations. Yeah, this live stream. It's like basically just picking up audio at this point.
Yeah.
Because this is such an old phone. There's like no night vision at all. Like you can't see anything. Unless you like aim it right at the light. Yeah, you may want to check that. Yeah, that's a good point. Like fire.
It's just kind of
Well, it's been sitting there for a minute.
Like that. Did you put that one in there?
It's not even hot.
I'd say if you leave, maybe like you could just put it out front.
Yeah, I would.
So,
just
yeah,
a little bit.
just have it out
That
on the
would
sidewalk.
just be so dumb.
Because I mean, it probably
None of the plants
wouldn't
that
start
are.
it. Yeah, just
None of the
Grateful
flowers
Dead
near there
house
are too
burns
hot.
down.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, that would be. I would. I don't know what I would do.
We got it on YouTube.
It's good now. I think it's fine now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
it says
I
a
would
box-
pull it
it
out
says
farther,
box
but
of
I'm
regular
like kind of
solid.
cautious that.
That's so cool.
That's why it's in there so that the wind
Yeah.
doesn't die out.
Well, maybe like set it right there.
Is there, you know of any concerts or any like events that are going
As
on?
far as I'm aware, they haven't said anything yet.
Okay.
But I'm sure that something's gonna happen. I think that the family's probably just reeling right now and maybe planning. You know, I don't know.
Oh yeah. It's like give it some time. But Phil, I mean, he lived a full life, so
He did.
and his
absolutely.
life was a celebration.
It's not like it's really not like, you know, we're not sad because he died. We're just sad, like, you know, that we're not gonna get to like see him anymore. Man.
Yeah, the Phil zone. You'd always want to stand on the left side of the stage to get into the Phil zone.
Right, the Phil zone.
I remember seeing him up in Eugene.
I just smudged my own shit.
Uh,
Why am I stupid?
the shows up in Eugene, Autzen Stadium. Like the
was
people
there,
I was,
too.
yeah, people I was camping with. They got up at like basically the crack of dawn, or they were like waiting in line like all morning, and then so we were like, you know, maybe 10 people back from the stage in the Phil zone. Yeah, those were good shows. It was just like so chill up there, you know, everything's just so relaxed and out of the city, out of the big city.
Yeah.
You know, you got the trees, and then just getting up there was a total adventure.
Right.
Like, you know, camp next to a river and go swimming in the morning, and then, you know, we camped on like some guy's farm like the second night, and then
Yeah.
he's like out with his tractor like the crack of dawn, like he's like, who are these people camping on? Because we were just like in some small like nowhere Oregon town, and like it was like a bunch of like renegade or just, you know, a bunch of, I guess they'd call us college kids at that time, you know.
Right, yeah.
You know, camping on his
I've heard
on
so
his
many
lawn, but he was
stories
like, he was coming. I think he basically woke us up, and we had to get out of there. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no.
And, but then, like, I was like, I remember almost falling asleep, like driving back. It's like, I think I tripped at that show, and I was, for whatever reason, I was like pretty tired, like, but I was like almost falling asleep, you know, like driving south. But then we finally, like, we were following these people we knew, and then camped. They knew of a campsite, but I was just fighting it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice.
Yeah,
talking
nice
to
meeting you. Yeah,
Have a
yeah.
good
If
rest
you want to check out the YouTube channel, it's non-GMO. Just search if you want if you type in, if you want to watch, you can, you know, archive, see yourself on YouTube.
Okay.
It'd probably mostly just be audio.
Okay.
Like yourself talking and just the voices, because at this point it's not picking anything else. But it's got about hour 37 minutes of this
great.
area.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
And then Yeah, I've got some past. I actually the most popular stream on that show is from the Shakedown at Dead and Company, the last show they did in San Francisco.
those were so fun.
And there's a couple interviews on that that they're kind of entertaining. Yeah, non-GMO is the YouTube channel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Good
Take
talk
care
with you.
now.
Yeah. Peace. Have a good one. down. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's quieted down. There was a lot of people here about 15 minutes ago.
Really?
Well, it's kind of been off and on.
The people that live here are okay with it?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, I haven't asked them, but I think that when they bought the house, they probably figured, they knew it was like a historical landmark. So, this is not like every day. It's like they usually get. I came out here on Jerry Garcia's 75th birthday.
Yeah.
And it was, there were a few people out here. It was during the day, so it was like in the summer, so it was a nice warmer day.
Fanatics, so they come through here all the time.
Oh yeah, there's always going to be like tourists that come check it out. If you're in town and like, a deadhead or yeah, I need to get my phone is like the lens is just doesn't have any night vision whatsoever.
Yeah. You got a good one. Yeah. Well, let's see how many remain. I think it's one. I think.
Oh, how many members?
Yeah.
Oh, Bob Weir.
Yeah,
No,
Bob.
there's Bob Weir and then Bill Kreutzmann. Both of the drummers are still alive.
Yeah.
Nikki and Bill are still alive, and then I think one of their former keyboardists may still be alive. Like is Bob Constan. One of those guys, like he was with them for a while, like not for very long. I think he may still be alive, but not like the most recent keyboardists like Brent. All their I mean, those were the guys that died like most often. The keyboardists, Pigpen.
Pigpen died a long time ago.
Yeah, I was like in the early 70s. Yeah, he was like, that was just from drinking. He just, he was like in his 20s and his body gave out. Just, and even I don't think he was much into the LSD scene or like at least taking it, but just his songs were great. Yeah, I mean that's like a whole different thing. That really down home blues.
Definitely. Cool. Well, thank you. Thanks for that.
Oh yeah. Hey, no, yeah. It's a public place, so yeah. Have a good one, man. Peace.
I think it's $3.
Actually, I'll take 2. It's fine. Yeah, there's 6. All right. Yeah, these are pretty good. It's like more of a natural. I mean, they're all kind of the same, but good to support different brands.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it's 2 of them.
Yeah, I got you that.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, yeah, thanks a lot. All right, have a good one, man.
You too, boss.
Actually, do you have any? I'm just curious what you have as far as like domestically made, American made, like bowls. Just like
for the bunk?
yeah, just like your regular, the smaller size, like the
14.
yeah, but like ones that are like. I don't want to get anything that's imported. Like I want to get something that's like American made. Yeah.
They'd be like
local blowers or even just the regional or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we'll have
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Kilos are going to be the smaller size ones, but
And those are a bit more though, right? Like
yeah, they're like $60.
oh, okay. Are there any that are like more in like the $20, $15 to $20 price range, or though most of those like well, I guess if it's a nice one, I guess it doesn't really matter exactly.
Like these guys right here, that'd be like 30.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a deep one. Yeah, it's
So
almost
that way
like
it's
a,
like an American made. So we have some of these guys up top, but they're going to be more honestly imported.
yeah, that one's okay. I've got a couple. I was just seeing what you guys have because I know, sometimes you get guys that are like live up in the mountains and they're, blowing some cool stuff. But cool. Okay. Yeah, I guess if it's a nice piece, that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be made in a particular place. But okay, cool, man. Have a good one.
Good luck. Thank you.
All right, cheers. Actually, why don't you come with us? You don't have a wrestling here, do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay. Yeah, are you still your guy co-owners with the headshot or that? Okay, because when I paid them, I think it said psychedelic SF.
Take that one.
All right, just I made a credit card. She said they're affiliated with that. Not, it's maybe a different shop.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. But yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, she was nice. I got a couple of real nice pieces from there.
Yeah,
Actually, those were better because I was looking for some. I need some American made, and she set me up. But man, you got some real nice. Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
It's far out.
closing down? Or?
Yeah.
How much are your t-shirts?
So those are like $29.
Okay. Yeah, I need to I need to clear out some of my t-shirts, but you got some pretty cool shirts. Is that same guy, Alex?
Yeah.
Alex Gray, yeah. That's the one's a print, but it looks like an original. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Only 25 like that size.
Yeah. Cool. So like these things here, are they like blotters? Are those supposed to be like old blotter designs?
What's that?
Like where they'd make, like a paper blotter out of an art design, and that's what I'm kind of thinking those would be.
That's all blotter art there.
Yeah. Even though I don't know if I ever really saw like the big piece like that, but that's just like comes to mind. Cool. How much are these shirts here?
They're $40.
Okay, cool. It's like a nice heavyweight cotton. I mean, am I gonna get any effect by touching these things? Or?
No, they're not active. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, nobody.
Cool,
lives
man.
in
Thanks
that
again.
house.
Good seeing
All right.
you. God damn, I can't even get that.
Like a real joke or something, or what?
What are you doing the rest of your night, my dear?
Keep on feeling.
You got energy. You got energy. My energy faded. My energy faded. Then it's 3 o'clock.
Oh, I just got up.
Yeah, well, I'm more like, so I fucked up my whole circadian rhythm. The other day.
Look at that.
Okay, I got it.
Was it like 17? I have been on.
It's like
all this other bullshit is like ridiculous. I was like, Alex, I love you.
Oh my god.
get some more live streams on there. So.